You know how when you're following directions, you have to turn down the radio so you can see the street signs better, and it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense in the moment? Well, I feel like in this video, I need to turn off this headlamp so you guys can hear the video better. Get it? Please don't click off. All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Nightbuddy headlamp. This is the headlamp that I've been using in a lot of my previous videos. Some of you have seen it and asked me for more information. You want to know where I got it and how it's working. And so I thought I'd just make this video to share with you guys exactly what my experience has been since I've owned it for about a year now. Also, keep in mind, I bought this from Amazon, and I will have my Amazon link in the video description. So if you guys want to support the channel, buy through that affiliate link. I do get a kickback, and it helps just support the channel so we can keep making videos like this. But let's go ahead and talk about the Nightbuddy headlamp. Now, as always, for everybody that's new to the channel, I create these videos to help keep you updated on the latest developments in our community, as well as discuss technical topics so that we have a better understanding of how our engines work. So if you're interested in more videos like that, be sure to subscribe because there will be a lot more coming out in the future. Now, like a lot of you guys, I'm not a professional mechanic, but I do work on my cars a lot as a hobby. And so I bought a headlamp because it's something that you need to see a little better in your engine bay and when you're under your car. So I started off with one of these, and this is one that I just got from AutoZone. It was pretty cheap. I think I probably saw it at the counter when I was checking out and was just like, yeah, this would help. But over time, there were a lot of issues with this that I wanted to address. I just didn't know they made anything better. The first one is just the LED lights, which LEDs are good. You know, they shine really bright and last really long, but they shine basically directly in a single spot. So it casts a lot of shadows, and even though this one has 3, it wasn't really that bright. So I wanted something that was brighter as well as something that cast out more light so I wasn't seeing shadows and stuff when I was trying to work on my car, which sometimes can make it more difficult to see details and screws and stuff that you're trying to reach. Now, this one does have a bunch of different modes. It turns on the red light, which I would love if somebody explained to me why these have a red light. I've never understood that, but every headlamp I've ever owned has a red light option. But this does have it, and then it does the bright as well as a dim setting. So a couple different options in this that worked okay, just wasn't the best. Now, going to the back, it takes 3 AAA batteries, and this also sucked simply because these did not last. I was going through a case of AAA batteries regularly. I was probably replacing this once a month at a certain point. And I think the most frustrating thing was when the battery started dying, the headlamp would still work, it would just get dim. So while you're working on your car, it starts getting harder and harder to see until you finally get fed up, you replace the batteries, and now it's bright again. And so it was kind of like annoying that the batteries had to be replaced so often, but also the way that they failed over time, it would just make it dim and annoying. There was no point where it's just like the light wouldn't work anymore. So that was also kind of frustrating to deal with. And then the last thing is this head strap, which, as you can see, it's very dingy and dirty. It was soaked in sweat and oil and just grime for the past several years and just was not ideal. I never really felt that hygienic when I put it on, and the way that it just soaks stuff up, it would start to smell, and eventually I just replaced it. So this isn't my first one. I kept buying this same style of headlamp because it was accessible and easy to get. But, you know, these straps, like after a certain point, there's just no saving them. So I would love to have something that didn't pick up and hold dirt like this strap. Now, the fix is obviously the Nightbuddy headlamp, and I think I saw this on TikTok for the first time, did a little bit more research, went to their website, and ended up ordering it off Amazon to get the points or whatever. But, you know, the main thing that everybody's interested in is the big LED strip on the front. So now instead of a spotlight right in the middle that's creating all of those shadows, you've got all of these LEDs arranged in a strip that cast out a bunch of light, and it makes it seem more like natural sunlight or just ambient light is lighting up the area you're working in. So it's an amazing thing to see. It's kind of hard to describe. I mean, I'm sure you understand it, but when you actually see it, that's when you really understand just how big of a difference it makes. But I think most people would agree that more light is never a bad thing. And the way that the multiple LEDs are lined up, it helps eliminate shadows so you don't have little dark corners and things that you're trying to work around. So completely a game changer. Now, again, it does have multiple settings. It has the bright setting, a dim setting, the weird red setting, which again, somebody explained to me what the purpose of this is. I've never known, but it also still does have a really bright spotlight. So if there is ever a time where you want to really focus light on a specific area and get as much light there as possible, then there's still the spotlight option on the side that points right where your eyes are looking so you can get the exact visibility you want. I also like that the lamp is pretty intelligent, so it doesn't cycle through all the settings every time. If I just turn it on, it defaults to the really bright setting, and then after working on my car for a while, I can push it again, and it just turns off. So it knows when you're working on something and using a setting for a while, it won't cycle through them all again. It'll just turn on and off. But if you click it quickly, then it'll cycle through the different options so you can pick the exact light you want to use. Now, the other thing is the battery, which instead of using batteries like AAA or something like that, it actually has a rechargeable battery. So you plug this in with a USB cable and it charges up. It does have a little red light indicator on the side that tells you when it's charging, and then it turns green when it's fully charged. So you have an indicator for that. And it lasts a really long time. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I bought 2 of these because it's advertised to last for about 4 hours. And I know sometimes I'm in my garage all day. So I figured I would have one that I'm working with. And then when that one dies, I can swap it out, plug it in, take the other one off the charger, and continue working for another 4 hours. I've never actually had one of these die on me. So while I'd love to tell you you should buy 2 or more, I really feel like 1 is enough for most people. Maybe if you are doing this as a job and you're working like a full 8, 10, maybe even 12-hour day, then you might want to have a second backup. But for me, using it the way that I've never actually had one run out of battery. I still do just swap them out just to keep them in rotation. But yeah, the battery life is way longer than advertised in my experience. And then of course, the last thing I'd say that I love is just the construction. It's like this rubber material that is very stretchy, very comfortable, and it doesn't get super dingy like the strap on my other headlamp. It does have a cloth section in the back, but it actually comes off really easily. You can unhook these clips, slide it through these rubber straps, and then if you want to wash it or do whatever you need to, you can do that as well. But again, I've had this for a year. It's not crusty. It's still completely flexible, doesn't smell, doesn't have basically any of the issues that I was going through with that old headlamp. The other thing is it does have this wireless or touch-free setting, sorry. It looks like a little wireless symbol, but the way that it works is when you push that button, instead of having to touch the headlamp to turn it on and off, you just kind of wave your hand in front of it. Now that is really nice because again, if your hands get really grimy and you don't want to be messing with a headlamp, you can have this touch-free option. So you just wave your hand next to it and the light will turn on and off. Now, I usually keep that off because when I'm working, I've heard that sometimes it can inadvertently turn on and off as you're just doing stuff. So just keep that in mind. But if you don't want to touch this because you know your hands are going to be covered in oil or whatever, then that's an option to keep it a little more hygienic. But yeah, overall, I just love this thing. I mean, it's super durable. You can see how flexible it is. It's not something that's going to break when you drop it or anything. It's super strong. Doesn't get cuts or anything. You know, it just can really handle the abuse of somebody that's going to be working in their car, working in their garage. I've even seen people use this for camping. You know, they use it for walking around at night and having a good amount of light. So lots of different ways that you can use this to your advantage. So again, if you guys are interested in buying this, check out the Amazon link in the video description. It goes on sale from time to time, so feel free just to put it in your cart until you see them take a couple bucks off. But yeah, either way, I think it's definitely worth the price. So hopefully this helps you guys out for everybody that's been asking about this. And if there's anything else you guys want to see me try, let me know. But I think that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.